Ladies and gentlemen, Magfest Saturday has begun, and there's no better place to begin it than right here, right now in Panels 1. You're here for questionable advice for the modern gamer with Boys to Men, Adam Stackhouse, and Jason Ford.
Yeah! Gotta get that phone. Yeah! All right. Welcome to Questionable Advice for the Modern Gamer. That is not loud enough to dance to.
It's not quite loud enough.
It's not quite. Welcome. We are Boys to Men. We were once boys and now we're men. You may be a boy. You may be a man. You may be a girl. You may be a woman. You may identify as something other than this. We are here for you, no matter what you are, to answer your questions, solve your problems.
That's right. The title of the panel is Questionable Advice for the Modern Gamer, which many of you may be wondering, what exactly does that mean? Well, first of all, let us say welcome. Welcome to all of you that have come to our panel here late at night, post-concerts, here after a long first day of Magfest Classic.
Turn the music down. Oh, sorry. Yep, production values. Great. Let's just go through. We'll give you a brief introduction to our goals for the evening, and then we're going to answer your questions, what you might or might not have come here for.
Indeed.
All right, great.
So, welcome. We're here to help, okay, because we are experienced Magfest professionals. We've been coming to Magfest for years and years and years.
Years and years, enough to be experienced, and we've been participating in life for a long time.
That's true. We have been alive for more than 0 years.
And we are all experienced.
That's true, in our own way. Now, Magfest is amazing, as everybody knows. Mm-hmm. But life can be hard.
Life can be very difficult sometimes.
It's a bummer. We know. We're right there with you. So let's chat.
Yeah.
Over the next hour, we're here to talk about anything. Literally anything.
Nothing is off limits.
Nothing. Now, gaming, obviously, we're here at Magfest, so gaming is a perfectly valid topic. Mm-hmm. But also adult responsibilities, social or party hosting, and other kind of gaming-related topics, like gaming for non-gamers, gaming and dating, gaming and parenting, if you have any kids. Your money, your finances, work-life balance, gaming and the haters, Magfest itself, again, we're experienced Magfest professionals if you want to know how to best enjoy yourself.
Talk Magfest.
Cooking or eating or diet, general career advice, board or tabletop gaming, literally anything, literally any question that you can come up with, we want answered. Now, there's a bunch of note cards going around. If you want to ask anonymously, just write it down, bring it back. We will literally answer every single question we get. Yeah. Also, if you want to form a queue up here, we will take live and in-person questions. And this is interactive. This is not just you ask questions, we ask answers, although that will be a large part of it.
Yeah. If you want to come up for a dialogue, it can be more of like a small conversation about a topic.
We have like a ludicrous amount of mics. So if more people than one want to come up, we can stick them in your face and have a little chat here in Panels 1, which we've been given for some reason.
We'll open things out to the floor. We'll role play if we have to. We'll get to the bottom of the things that plague you most by night.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
And we've already got a docket of fantastic
questions. We've got a lot. Thank you, audience members, for submitting some questions.
Yeah, it's true. We can. I don't know how saucy we want to be right off the bat. We literally said we talk about anything.
Sauce it up.
This one's actually serious. This one is.
Do we have a softball question?
Yeah.
Start with something easy. We can ease in.
It's September 12th now. It's a great day to ask the following. Question 1, or maybe whatever's coming up now.
We have even more questions.
What is the best liquor to play Smash Brothers with?
Specifically Smash Brothers.
That's a great question.
We're talking about the Wii U version?
Wii U.
Okay.
Great, the Wii U version. Well, first we have to get to the aspects of that liquor. What would you want from a quality of a liquor in a Wii U game?
Well, so I think Smash... Everclear is the first suggestion from the audience. So
when the only thing you have is Everclear, that is correct.
That's not
Silverhead
a bad choice.
Band.
So
that is a shit answer. That is totally you would not use Everclear when you're playing Wii U.
It's such a good question because Smash Brothers is kind of what you want to make of it, right? Because it can be this like ludicrous party game with all items on and time, but it can also be this like fairly serious fighting game, high intensity, lots of choices, lots of options.
And therein lies the first rub. There is not a single answer. It depends. Are you playing for fun or for glory?
Indeed.
If we're talking this specific platform, you have to break your liquor preference down by your play style.
So when I think about Smash Brothers, like what's the joy of Smash? What's it been since it came out on the N64? It's all these Nintendo franchises coming together at once in this kind of unholy mashup.
And that unpredictability lends itself to the entirety of your liquor cabinet.
Right. And you think of something that doesn't necessarily make sense. Like we got Kirby and we got Pit and we got Mario, and it doesn't make sense. So that's why my suggestion, I feel like, has got to be the Long Island Iced Tea.
Oh, wow. My suggestion would be similar in theme but different in purpose.
Okay.
We would get shot glasses with 20 different concoctions in them, and you
okay.
would blindly taste them as you played.
That's very good.
Yeah. Okay. So
Or you could pick, just like you pick your character at the beginning, maybe you line up, like for your guests, a variety of liquor choices, and they take the shot that best matches.
that's true.
You know?
Yeah.
Peach schnapps for your peach fans.
Oh, that's super. Blue.
Cacao?
That's the word I was looking for
There you
Mega
go.
Man. Yep.
Mega
that's
Man,
what you'd
sure.
have.
Blue Bomber?
Blue
Yeah.
Bomber, a little some. I don't know if I can make
I
liquor
like-
drinks
I
out of
like
Wii U
that.
characters
So,
spontaneously.
all right, so the answer sounds like Long Island iced tea or a cornucopia of shots. Just basically just empty out your liquor cabinet and go play Smash Brothers. Is
True.
Fair enough, the answer. There you go, exactly.
What is the worst game for your kid to walk in on you playing?
Oh, man. That's a good question. I just played Bayonetta 2, and I felt a little oogie. It's a great game, but I definitely felt a little oogie at parts during that game. There are some cinematics where there's some, like, leg spreads where you're like, this is not necessary at all to be happening right now. Please, nobody walk in on what's going down.
That's true. I mean, I guess it's like what we have to figure out. Like, what is the worst thing for your kid? Is it like you get like BMXXX?
Oh, well.
No one should walk in on you playing. You should not be playing that.
That's a bad game. Like,
You deserve-
like nobody would walk in on me playing that because that's just a bad game.
Or like a Leisure Suit Larry game.
Sure. Okay. Well, there you go.
Why are you doing this?
I don't know.
To masturbate is why they're doing. They do know.
They. You use they like you're not talking about yourself.
I am not.
Okay. So I do feel like the visual component is very important here. Not like less so the kind of oral component of the game. It's got to be like the visual.
Careful with the words.
Oral. A-U-R-A.
Thank you.
Okay. So that's why kind of Bayonetta immediately came to mind as something I've been playing recently.
I would say Mad World.
Okay. So you went the other two. You went hyper violence.
Hyper-violence.
Sure.
Violence that's not only cartoonish, but is oddly black and white.
Dad, what have you done to my Wii?
Yeah, Dad, the TV's broken. You're playing with this console I use Wii
Greg
Sports
Proops
on.
is yelling
and
for
why
some
is Greg
reason.
Proops saying the F word?
Right.
Yes.
Oh, that's not
Oh.
bad. Yes, exactly. That opening
Boobies and
scene.
splatter
Indeed.
blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, there's no Greg Proops would be the only answer. But God of War, a better answer than the two of ours combined.
So let's just say
Point
God of
for the-
War.
God of War would be the answer.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Let's do two who would fight questions. Would you like to do yours first?
Sure. So the first one I have is Ronda Rousey versus Floyd Mayweather. Who wins?
On three.
Okay,
1,
2,
2, 3.
3, Ronda
Mayweather.
Rousey.
No, that's a problem.
Gross.
Who would win in a fight, Samus or Fox?
All right.
1, 2, 3. Fox.
Samus.
See, that's.
What are you
I don't
talking
know.
about? You're
I
wrong
feel
on
bad.
both
I
counts.
realize in retrospect I picked the two
Samus
boys.
is going to charge up and do 26% damage
You ever seen someone
every
play
day.
pro with a Fox? It's just out of.
I'm not saying Fox is bad.
You're
I'm
saying
s-
like real
I'm
life,
s-
like
I'm
they show
saying
up on the
Samus
street
would
corner. Samus probably could. And then.
win.
Okay.
Samus is wearing armor. Fox has all his like fox fur out.
Let's
That's
default to the
garbage.
audience. We're gonna go on. We're gonna have a vote. Samus versus Fox. First, who would win in a fight? Samus. Hands, please. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Samus would win. We're not even gonna do Fox.
Yeah, we're not even gonna do Fox, Adam.
Thank you. A lot of these were about sex. From what experience? From experience or not? That's the best first. From experience or not, what is the hardest game to play while getting fellatio?
Not.
Oh, good. From experience or not? Yes. But the question, what is the hardest game to play? DDR, Dance Dance Revolution, would be the obvious
That's a great
answer.
answer. That's real strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For what should be obvious reasons at this point. If someone is going to perform oral sex on you, you
Guys,
should
I
not be
think I got to
dancing.
ask the obvious question. What would be the softest game to play while receiving fellatio?
Professor Layton, obviously.
Thank you very much.
999. I mean, you're really just reading at that
Yeah,
point.
I've got to
you know?
escape this room
Yeah.
and other
You
things.
found
need
it.
Yeah, flower?
Flower-
No, that's
flower.
when you're going.
Flower's tough
never
because you
mind.
got to move around a lot, right, with the motion. You know, not especially difficult.
For anyone,
To like a pro flower play would be.
anything involving female anatomy, you should play flower. Just for the next question is, how do I get better at using a modern controller? Parentheses 360, Xbox One, PS4, PS3, etc.
That's a good question.
It's like an actual question.
Yeah.
Well, not to like put down the fellatio question.
So I think my first recommendation would be to look at the swath of indie games on current consoles that don't make use of every single button combination or like complicated, multi-button press schemas. And get used to holding a bigger, heavier controller and manipulating that, and then kind of working your way up. I think that would make the most sense to me.
I think that's very strong advice.
Yeah, you can't just jump into. I mean, if you're like want to get back into gaming, if you haven't been playing for a while, if you've never played before, playing like a first-person shooter is very hard. Manipulating two controllers or two joysticks at once, along with all the shoulder buttons or everything else,
Okay.
is a little tough. So yeah, I would say like just get used to using it in the more simple control schemes. Like a Shovel Knight or something like that.
Shovel Knight's a tough game.
So it's a tough game, but it's simple controls.
Yeah.
Rogue Legacy
Experiment
perhaps.
with Mario Maker open today.
Oh, you should play Mario Maker. Oh man, I don't know who has been playing Mario Maker today.
But yeah, start with
thumbs up. Let's
basic
not
control
digress.
context and kind of work your way. It's all about getting comfortable with kind of that hand placement.
Absolutely.
What party game will lose you the most friends?
Will lose you the most friends.
Truth or Dare, high school, middle school, God. Video game. It doesn't say video game.
It doesn't say. Well, it's Monopoly, obviously. Monopoly. Is there another answer? There's not another answer.
Monopoly, Warhammer.
Oh, it's gotta be Monopoly. I have played Monopoly with my then girlfriend, now wife, exactly one time.
You still made
Never
it. You
ag-
persevered.
Let me
you
tell
got to the free
that
parking.
That was a
In
night.
your driveway.
That was a rough night. Never again.
What about video games? What video game will lose you friends? We might have to phone an audience member. Does an audience? Mario Party.
Mario Party.
The original.
Yeah, it's got to be Mario
64.
Party.
Yeah, the
right.
first Mario.
Well, Mario Party's hot garbage. That's all random nonsense anyway.
It'll
so
break your controller and your miracle bonds in life.
That's good.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That is game over.
That's true.
Yep.
Okay, great. And Bayonetta 2. If your friend is a child.
Okay.
Let's see. Ship 2 video game characters.
Ship them?
Yeah, ship them. Ship like when you're a fan. When you're a fan of like franchise
Like
characters
maritime
at Medium.
things?
No, you're not FedExing anything. Pick 2 video game characters that you think should be romantically involved with each other.
Oh.
Bowser Jr.
Why Bowser Jr.? and Yoshi?
and Yoshi. Bowser Jr. and Yoshi on a camping trip.
Where are they camping? Are there jungles in the Mushroom Kingdom?
There will be when they're done.
Fair
That's
enough.
a horrible ship.
I don't feel satisfied with that answer.
No. Well, who would you ship from 2 video game characters?
Man, that's really hard.
Right.
I would say the logical answer would be Nathan Drake and Lara Croft.
That's well. What are
Like
they gonna,
thematically
Let's go
appropriate.
step on spiders together.
Yeah,
I guess so. But like, let's cross
they
worlds.
love tunes.
What about I gotta believe Parappa.
Okay,
And-
Jamalami.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say Fat Princess.
Sure,
Yeah,
okay.
because that doesn't make sense at all.
Right. Okay.
Do any of you have fan fiction that you read, or just characters that you wish would get together?
What about should we like unite 2 royalty? We have Princess Toadstool and the King of All Cosmos.
That's true.
Is that good?
I would like the King of All Cosmos to get in a relationship with Waluigi. I feel like their romance and whatever came of it would be worth paying
They're like
attention
both
to.
of those characters make no sense
There's
whatsoever.
like limbs everywhere, unexpected rainbows, sounds we can't even make in these microphones.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd be like, "Ah."
Yes, we have a question from the audience.
Obviously, you're forgetting that the one true ship is Commander Shepard and anyone.
And anyone,
Commander
okay.
Shepard.
That's true. And Commander Shepard and Elcor.
Commander, yeah, Elcor was Shepard.
So I have a question. So if you wanted to ship professional characters, why one notice to pair Dr. Mario with another person with a similarly good academic title? So if you had to pair Dr. Mario with someone else who had an advanced degree, who would it be?
Phoenix Wright.
Dr. Wiley. I would say Professor Layton. Yeah.
More Professor Layton.
That's perfect. That's right.
They'd have one hell of a
You have
wedding.
the MD and the PhD. It's perfect. Or the JD, I suppose. No, Could be a PhD. Anyway, next question.
Next question. Oh, these are so sexual. They're all sexual. Best video game sex scene. I would say
don't know.
Fahrenheit, also known as Indigo Prophecy, the Quantic Dream game that predates Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, is a game that's like you play as a dude who gets like infested with supernatural,
Right.
a lady cop and a dude cop, and near the end of the game, things just go supernatural, and for no reason, alien dude and lady cop have the most awkward, unnecessary sex scene I've ever seen in a video game. And he's dead. He's also dead. Facts.
That's pretty good.
What? Yeah, spoilers. Well, everything in that. It's almost like shooting a puppy in a gutter. Like, that is not... Ride to Hell Retribution, they have sex with clothes on.
Right, all the time.
And it is the worst objective. Like, that is bad for people.
Sure.
Yeah, but they have their clothes on because they were too lazy to animate naked models.
I honestly don't know how to answer this because the word best isn't in quotes. So I feel like I can't earnestly answer the question.
Oh, okay.
You did.
Yeah. Well, and now I'm thinking of like all the characters we shipped having sex, and it's just broken.
I mean, I'm going back to Mass Effect.
Commander Shepard and the Elcor?
And anybody. Well, God, I mean, I wish.
Let's do a quick audience yell. Who did your Shepard romance?
There you go. Jack, yes. Jack, that's a good answer.
Liara
That might
and
be my vote.
everyone. You cannot... Did you play it 8 times? I don't know how that pans out. Favorite indie game platform?
Favorite indie game platform? That's a good question.
If you're serious on it, you would go PC.
PC, yeah, would be my first vote.
But if we're hooking up a box, I'm saying PS4.
PS4, yeah, or the Vita. Honestly, like I love the Vita as a platform in terms of like game choice. They've gotten a lot better, like especially over the last few years. But the portability and like the power bit, especially with PlayStation TV, like having the ability to play those games on the TV and handheld. That if we're not taking strictly library, PC's the only answer. But I might say Vita for playability and usability.
I've been overly impressed with the amount of indie content coming to the PlayStation 4 on an almost weekly basis.
Yes.
They have a habit of announcing things, and 2 weeks later it's out on the platform. It's quite impressive. This one is, I think, taken seriously. Okay. I'm addicted to video games, and no one takes me seriously. How can I get the help I need?
That's a good question.
That is a very good question. I think you would want to reach out to people who you would take that problem and kind of reframe it as if you had other problems in your life. I have a problem with being responsible about my work, my social life. Do you have a trusted loved one, family, friend that you could go to and kind of say, hey, I need you to regulate me on this. I need you to watch me on this. And I think, I don't know, this kind of gets at a larger question of balance.
Indeed.
Work-life balance.
Yeah, that's kind of the first, in terms of like self, like motivation, like look at everything that you value in life and see like what are you not giving focus to, and can you, attribute more time to that than you are games. Mm-hmm. But in terms of that, games are still kind of new, even though they've been around for quite a long time. So my best advice, again, I think seeing a professional is a good idea. Seeing if your health insurance has like any kind of therapeutic allocation to it, to go see a professional and talk to them and be very realistic. Because I think that is going to be very analogous to any kind of like extreme focus or something that you get very deep into. So I think there have been patterns for that before.
Absolutely. And if it's something that you consider that's something that you're just really into all the time and you lose a lot of sleep and it's affecting other aspects of your life and you don't know that if it's the level of medical help yet, but you're looking for like a tool to regulate it, you could go about scheduling the way you have your life and hold others accountable. So develop hobbies or have commitments or interests, classes you go to, or certain regular meetings with friends that you are held to, and they know that this is a reason you get out of the house.
That's a really good idea. Instead of just kind of filling all the moments that are unscheduled in your life with games, fill it up with a bunch of other stuff, work, friends, family.
I know when I'm trying... Oh.
Yep. I was just going to say, and on a lighter note, is there a more humorous one you might want to do? Because it's good advice.
Like, in case some people are looking for serious, we're
rapid firing.
Yeah. We're rapid firing. My other thing would say, like, if you're like there's so much game time, make it so there's certain games in your library you only play with other people.
Right.
And that will kind of restrict your playing of those games to that works. Boxes or memory cards?
Boxers. Who's used a memory card since the PlayStation 2?
Someone who's
I
playing with a
still wear
PlayStation 2.
boxers right now.
Who would win in a fight? You guys are Mega Man on 3.
One, two, three,
Mega
us
Man.
guys.
Okay.
Mega Man,
We haven't
yeah.
agreed on one of those lately.
Jeez.
Most sexual. This is most sexually pleasing gaming experience. It looks like gummy experience. Most sexually
Let's answer
pleasing
gummy experience.
Gummy experience.
Most
That's
sexually
personal.
pleasing gummy
That's
experience.
a little personal. Sour
Okay.
Patch Kids. What is your most sexually pleasing gaming experience? Well, I would say gaming with someone and then having sex with them.
I'm going to steal your answer as Sour Patch Kids. I feel like that is strong.
Does this mean like game to masturbate to?
I don't know.
I don't know that a video game has ever made me sexually aroused.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But if there was one,
Most of the time when, like, the games that try to be sexy fail pretty bad. Or, like, they come in pretty awkwardly.
sorry, I just need a second.
Okay, sure.
Just trying to think about sexy times in video games. Okay.
I'll give you
I
all the
still
time you
don't-
need.
No, I don't. Bless you. No, the most sexually pleasing gaming experience would be playing games with someone you are sexually attracted to, and then expressing that to each other physically.
I like that answer.
Thank you. Don't get romantic. What platform will my great-grandchildren play Half-Life 3 on? Their eyeballs. Eventually, the games, you're just going to download a chip in your eye holes. It's like... And you're up. It's like the PlayStation 9.
That's a great question. So do we think, like, with all the VR stuff, like, is that the time when Valve finally releases Half-Life 3, or is that game just never coming out? Are they just making Dota hats? Is Half-Life 3 just going to be a Dota hat that you can buy during the next international?
And perhaps a deeper mystery, which audience member has great-grandchildren?
Oh, the audience looks fairly young. I don't know.
Right?
Is it Kevin?
Can Hideo Kojima be stopped?
Why would we want to stop Hideo Kojima?
Well, it says he's too powerful, as if this person was able to
He
predict
just
what you're
got
going to say.
fired. How?
Yeah, he's actually in the most stoppable position of his life right now.
Yeah, isn't Konami just making like pachinko machines
He's
and like whatever the
technically
hell they're doing?
unemployed. And yeah,
And
so
Metal Gear Solid 5 is baller.
he's actually been stopped, so you can enjoy yourself
Yeah.
for the rest of your
Yeah, I
life.
guess the answer is having Konami like shift how they make their money.
Someone's gloating that he's been stopped. How can I convince Transformers fans that Gary Chalk was a better Optimus Prime than Peter Cullen? Now, see, Peter Cullen does voice work for NASA, which in life gets him better cool points.
He starts strong.
So the problem is you can't and you shouldn't. Why? Then the OG?
I love the definitiveness of your answer.
Okay. Well,
You've
here's
kept
the
it
thing.
in the active stack here.
Yeah, we'll put it right back in. He raised the point, the OG. There's a lot of like OGs that aren't necessarily the best Gs. Let's do a quick Destiny poll. Peter Dinklage
Nolan
versus
North.
Nolan
Much
North. Dinklage fans?
See,
Nolan North fans?
I think you're looking through. Rose gold shader colored glasses.
iPhone
See, that's a
6S
Destiny
goes on
joke.
pre-sell 3 a.m.
telling you that, like, oh shit, I accidentally summoned the whole planet worth of effects. My bad. Every fucking time he touches
I did like when he awoke in the hive. I mean, that's all the time.
it. Just like no one sounds like he's trying to be Deadpool from Capcom 3.
Yes, I like the whimsical goofiness. Like it seems like more of how I envisioned the ghost being from the start.
I think your strongest argument is that if he's the OG, that cred is worth more than any voice anything could bring to a cartoon. Because it's like, you were there first, this was defined around you, this is yours, and no one's going to steal it from you.
Exactly.
That's how you would argue that point, which was kind of just happened. We have 2 questions here that are the same. Both two terms. One person just wrote worst game ever. Someone else wrote what is the worst game ever? Full sentences. What is the worst
That's
game
a great
ever?
question. I have so many answers. My personal favorite answer is Taboo for the NES. Does anybody know this game?
Like,
So-
is it an adaptation of the board game Taboo?
No, it's like this weird fortune-telling game that doesn't tell your fortune. The game. Have you ever played Taboo? It asks you a bunch of questions and then gives you a secret number and then reboots. Yeah. And that's the game.
Ooh.
I mean, I don't even know if it's a game. It's on an NES cart.
It's a thing that you can buy in a store on a cartridge. that you
Indeed,
play with the
they sold it
controller.
as a game.
I don't know what
Right.
it is.
And then, so maybe more serious answers, the Big Rigs off-the-road racing. Have anybody seen that?
That's
The
great.
PC
What are you
game.
talking about?
The famous 1.0 from GameSpot.
I would say Deal or No Deal on the Nintendo DS.
Okay, why do you have experience with this game? Deal or No Deal is a bad game.
Yeah.
It's
So
a bad
take
TV
a bad
show.
game, make
that
it
you
into
should
video
not
game
watch.
form. The fun fact about Deal or No Deal on Nintendo DS
Give me the
is
fun facts.
it doesn't have a save state, and the rounds are preset. So if you go in and you play the first round,
Oh,
those
no.
briefcases and money amounts, you turn off the
So
game
you're
and
like,
turn it back on.
they're like, it's a number
It is the
4. It's
same,
number 4, briefcase
like,
number 4. Give me that
briefcase.
one.
It would always be briefcase number 4 when you
Great.
turn on the game. So it is fundamentally broken to the point of not working like the game show. He gets super sexual. It is his most pleasurable gaming experience. You can paint on him.
Most sexual game.
That is the most sexual. There we go. It all comes back around.
Is poking Howie Mandel.
Is Howie Mandel a video game character? Can we consider him a video game character for the rest of the panel?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful.
I
All right.
ship him with the Elcor.
I have to ask you guys, who would win in a fight, you guys or Howie Mandel?
Okay,
1, 2, 3,
Howie
us.
Mandel.
We haven't there's like 5. We haven't matched a single one yet. Howie Mandel would beat us,
Yeah, man.
and we'd beat
on-
Mega Man.
He's on T. Yeah, we definitely beat Mega Man. He's on T. Howie Mandel's
You
on
do
TV
realize
all the
that
time.
means like you're saying Mega Man's the weakest, then us, and
I'm
then
just saying
Supreme being Howie Mandel.
I'm just saying it's 2-on-1. He'd be like Mega Bustering you, and then I'd get all up in there and get him in like a chokehold or whatever. Take his stupid robot head off.
What's
He might. I think it would be a close one.
I didn't realize this was a stack.
The logical follow-up question is Howie Mandel a robot or is he a human being?
Oh, he's a robot.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Wait. You guys are forgetting a fundamental flaw in the Mega Man matches. And that is Mega Man will always lose to humans. Will not hurt.
Oh, there you go. See, I was unintentionally right all along.
It was critical. It was absolutely critical. Yeah, this just got super real again.
Wow.
They're all sexual questions.
Okay.
Let's do a non-sexual. What is your favorite platform?
I mean, does that mean like favorite console? I suppose.
I think that's what that
I'm gonna
means.
say Super Nintendo.
Wow. Is that a nostalgia-based decision?
I don't. I mean,
What is your favorite
probably-
console of the moment to play and ever, period?
Of the moment would be PlayStation 4. Of all time would either be PlayStation 2 or Super Nintendo. I think Super Nintendo because I feel like it was such a well-rounded console, like for platformers or role-playing games or like action games at that point. Like I still look back on those games, and you play Super Mario World or Link to the Past or Final Fantasy VI. Like I'm not looking at those through rose-colored glasses. Like those remain top-tier A+ games.
That is true.
Like of their genre.
That is true.
So, if I were to list like my favorite games of all time, they would kind of hit just about every swath. But I'm gonna stick with Super Nintendo. Final answer.
Okay. I would say my favorite right now is PS4. And my favorite, not for quantity reasons of content, but would probably be the 64. Would be the Nintendo 64, just because it blew my mind when it came out, and that upon itself was just like transformative. Great. Is it weird to find the extraction sound effects in Metal Gear Solid 5 extremely satisfying?
No. They're amazing. You're talking about like using the different cassettes for your helicopter when it shows up, because that is dope. That is the best.
How do you stay awake at the entire time at 24-hour conventions? Pace yourself.
Yeah, slow and steady wins the race. I feel like is the best thing. If you're, quickly ingesting something that might make you sleepy, don't do that.
You don't want to overdo like crash on alcohol, or
Right.
you don't want to like coffee, sugar, spike energy drinks yourself.
Stay hydrated. Utilize energy drinks and caffeine. Certainly. Eat plenty of food. Stay semi-active, up and about, moving around, and I think you'll do well.
It's true. You'll do great.
Yep.
We've got a lot of questions here.
I know, it's wonderful.
We're going to move faster.
We have another half an hour. We're only halfway done with this.
Okay, all right. Well, I want to make sure people get these important things answered. For example, in Ocarina of Time, do we have anything else to say on how to do a 24-hour MagFest?
I don't.
I think it's just all about pacing, drawing it out, long draw.
Yeah,
In
tortoise in the hair is really the metaphor you want for
Yeah.
that. Don't get so excited and be like, I'm going to get messed up.
Don't
no,
burn
no,
out.
Man, ease into it.
Hit that, put it on cruise control,
Yep.
and ride. In Ocarina of Time, who does Link fall in love with, not including Zelda? I think
Sheik.
pretty much everyone. Like, the way that I interpreted that game, Link, it was his puberty, like before the Temple of Time. He was like
Wait a minute.
wanting to bone
What's
everything.
the like Zora princess that you're carrying around for a while? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Epona.
Epona?
I mean, her name sounds like a sexual act. Like, how could that not be? You've never Epona'd anyone?
Next question.
Well, you're gonna run out of carrots. Yeah, King the Dog. It's true. It's true. There's so many chickens. What is the most absurd game you've ever played?
Oh, wow.
I think the one for me that comes to mind, and I don't know the name of it, PlayStation 1. It was a game from Japan, but it made its way over here. If anyone can name this, you win super points. It was just a bunch of rapid button pressing following the wacky day in the life of a suburban family. So, like, it'd be like, guys in an elevator, and then, like, a ball's coming through, and you have to just press one button 200 times in 60 seconds or he dies. That was the whole game. It was just, like, thing after thing.
Huh.
I wish I could tell you the name of it.
I don't know that game.
It was absurd.
I'm going to go with a bit of an obvious one. We just both played it. Hatoful Boyfriend.
Hatoful Boyfriend's delightful.
Hatoful Boyfriend has to be the most. Everybody know Hatoful Boyfriend? Super worth playing. A+, yes. A+ game. Not knowing that it is a dating sim where you date pigeons doesn't reveal the whole story. The story is madness. Have you finished it? Okay, great. So oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Where that thing goes, it is a magical experience.
It's true.
Yeah, it's a post-apocalyptic, like
It's a
high
world
school
where, yeah.
dating sim.
Everyone's a bird.
You're
except
not you. You're a
you
human.
play a
You're a
teenage human
you're a
girl
human
who lives in a cave and finds herself romantically involved
Yep.
with these birds at school.
Especially the school nurse.
It's absolutely go after the school nurse.
Please go after the school nurse.
How do I balance life and Bitcoin mining?
You don't.
No, I don't think
You
you do.
only
You do one or
Bitcoin
the
mine.
other. You pick. I mean, you can also
You
pick
pick
life,
Bitcoin. You
but
pick-
there's no balance between these two
Pick
things.
Bitcoin mining.
Most arousing character, Bowser Jr.
Yeah.
It's not the most arousing
No,
character.
just Bowser Jr.'s clown car. Get him out of there. Get me in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm flying around.
What is better, AR or VR?
Sorry, I have to interrupt. Is this a kind of get out of my dreams, get into my car scenario that you're talking about right now?
Yeah, get
Okay.
out of my.
It's a get out of my car.
Get out of
into
my Mario
dreams.
2
Okay.
dreams.
One
Get
of
into
those
my
famous
Bowser Jr.
scenarios.
clown.
If you
car.
guys could continue to relate your answers to 80s songs, I would appreciate that. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, this one you just made things harder. What is better, AR or VR?
I love AR. I've used VR. I think it's cool. I'm not 100% sold on it yet, but AR just seems nuts. Like it's still like
Yeah.
totally blows me away. And I don't know what we're talking about. I mean, we're talking about like Google Glass, like stuff pops up.
and Pokemon Go now.
Oh man, that was so good.
Have you guys seen the announcement for Pokemon Go?
Like that is the kind of world I want to live in, where I'm it. That sounds okay.
that sounds amazing.
I would get on a plane right now and go to Times Square and kick the shit out of Mewtwo. Let's go. Let's go. Who's with me?
I am.
That guy. Let's go.
They better be. How do you go about making gamer friends after moving away from all your old friends?
Oh, that's hard.
That is a good question.
This is like a two-front type of question, right? Like, so online communities are so powerful right now. And I've
Put on some of the music from our
Sure.
Greatest Hits album while you keep going.
So depending on what you play, like join an online clan or find people through people. Find one person you can play with and then kind of spider out from there. Just be friendly and sociable and active and talk to people. I think that's a good way to meet people online. Meeting people in person is a little bit tougher. I guess it depends on your stage of life, right?
And I think a good place to start, if possible, is coworkers at your place of employment.
Totally.
If you
Huge.
discover that anyone, in casual conversation, find out people's interests, and it's like, oh, I've played this game, or I'm into this. That is a great gateway to saying like, oh, well, fantastic. Hey, do you want to come play, Mario Kart with me sometime?
Yeah.
Or I've been looking for people to play this board game with. That's a good gateway into finding it.
I feel like as gaming as a hobby gets older and older, like that becomes a little bit easier and easier. Like it feels like less of a niche type of thing, and just like, yeah, man, everybody plays games to some degree.
And a good way to fish too, or were you done with that thought?
Yeah, I'm done.
Is Facebook. So you could post things on Facebook related to the gaming experiences or games that you like, and then when you see people post, if you have folks from Richmond who is like, Richmond, where we're from, if you have folks from your area and you say, oh, hey, I didn't realize you had an interest in this, and you try to start a conversation, that might be a way to make gaming-related friendships.
Yep, absolutely.
Sure. Cool. Which MAGFest has been the best overall?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a really good question. Isn't the answer always this one? Because it's
That's right.
always
I
getting
really
better.
like these classic ones, the smaller fields. My gut says I really liked 11. That was the second year at the Gaylord. That felt like the right size. Like it wasn't like the last 2 years have been really fun at the Gaylord, but it's really started to feel big. Yeah. But at 11, it felt substantive and big, but it still felt like you had room to breathe and move around, and there wasn't like a million lines at every console or everything like that.
It's true.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with one of the more modern ones.
I'll second that. And
I'll say
also throw
11.
an extra chip in for last year's classic, which was
8.5 was awesome.
Which was great.
Really awesome.
How would you deal with a spouse who considers gaming a waste of time?
That's really hard.
Yep.
I don't know how I would.
I think I would start by attempting to game with your spouse. And what I say by that is not to put them down next to Call of Duty, if that's what you're trying to get them to, like, that's not going to happen.
Right.
But something that would get them at the end of it to say, oh, this is a video game. Oh, there's other types of games that might even appeal to me. Like if it's someone who's into crime thrillers, download Her Story, right?
Yeah.
And like
great.
two people can take a game like that and treat it like you would a TV show that you watch together.
Puzzle it out together.
Or a two-person platform, or something like Chariot,
Right.
where you have to work together and one person can do a lot of the heavy lifting, but someone else can kind of have fun with the controls.
Right.
Which one? Portal?
Portal's
the
great,
The two-player
yeah.
section of Portal. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time just came out, but that's harder for two people.
Very hard.
That's harder. But yeah, try it out. Or co-op games. The Mario four-player platforms, like perfect for that.
The wording of the question is really tough.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's super important to necessarily have you and your significant other or spouse have all the same interests. Like it's cool to have things that just you do, and obviously you need things that you do together. But if you consider any of their pastimes a total waste of time or vice versa, that's really hard. Like that's something
super hard.
That's something that you really need to kind of work for, like, and ask, almost starting before, like, let's sit down and play a game together, which I think is great advice. Especially thinking about their interests and then feeding it back, being like, why do you think it's a waste of time? Like, what is it you think I'm doing? Like, what do you think? How do you think I should be better spending my time? And just having like a very frank conversation about it, I think could be very enlightening.
Yeah, that's tough.
Because I think it makes you kind of articulate why you're spending time with it, which is really rewarding, and also making them consider how they spend their time and why they value what they value. And I bet you'll find common ground just in talking about things, even if you don't get them to, want to sit down and play a bunch of games with you.
Absolutely. Good answer. I'm biased. I'm sitting next to you. I'm a gamer and want to buy a house. How can I keep my hobby and save?
That's a great question.
Buying games on the cheap.
Yeah. I feel like games get pretty aggressively price cut, like more than ever. First of all, it's a holiday season is super great. If you're excited about games coming out in September, just wait until like November or December. They'll easily be $20 or $30. I would just say, play on PC, first of all, because Steam sales are so aggressive, Humble Bundle sales are so aggressive, and you've got this massive back catalog of games. And I would just say be patient. You know, you're probably going to have to sacrifice buying those $60 brand new games. You're probably not going to be able to play games with any kind of big monthly fee. Those are, even if you're playing a lot, it's a good value. Those are a lot of like money sinks, right?
Right.
So either focusing on something like a Diablo 3 where you can get a lot of time for your money spent, or focusing on more inexpensive games or games, playing games, 3, 6, 12 months behind, I think would make a lot of sense. Another thing I would say is just like kind of strictly budget yourself, right? Just sit down with a pad of paper and be like, here's how much money I have in, here's my fixed expenses, right? Rent, utilities, or whatever. I want to put $200 a month away, and then here's my other expenses, food, and then, discretionary funds. Just have a kind of a big blanket discretionary fund bucket and say, okay, if I buy this game, that means, I'm not going to go out for dinner this night or whatever. And just make different choices and allocate your kind of loose expenses a little bit more. It's hard. It's not
Second,
fun.
all of that, I think patience is the key. You get games later, they're cheaper, and look for those sales. I think if you're looking for, if you're stuck to a console, certain places you could look, and you guys could yell out places you go, but I think things like the clearance rack at Target is usually a deep discount.
Sure.
Gamefly getting their extra stuff off.
Yeah,
Gamefly
if you're to
used,
follow like Cheap Ass Gamer,
huge. Follow sites like Cheap Ass Gamer where you can deep dive into some price cuts. I see a hand.
Yep. That's a great point.
Use what you have and play it all the way through, and make decisions based off. You can make decisions based off the amount of content and quality you'll get us.
Right, exactly. Before you're like, I'm gonna buy Fallout 4. That looks super rad. Be like, did you finish Witcher 3? Did you finish Bloodborne? Like, hold up.
And you can also consider game rental services, and that adheres you to a budget automatically.
Indeed.
It's like, I will only get this many games, and you can borrow from friends and trade and say, well, I got this game. Maybe now, I can map out and trade this game with others. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And avoid pre-orders. I would say, even if you're not trying to save money, don't pre-order.
Yeah, there's usually not a great reason to pre-order nowadays.
So most games are available digitally, so any kind of scarcity is totally gone,
Yep.
and you don't trap yourself with even Assassin's Creed Unity is a great example. You're like, oh, that series has been really good for forever. This game is probably going to be good, right? Nah, son, it's broken as hell. Arkham Knight, yeah, exactly. Where it's just
Arkham Knight on PC?
straight up doesn't work. Works so poorly they take it off of Steam. It's not much precedent for that.
It's kind of related. We're going to segue here. What's the deal with DLC? I mean, really?
I think DLC is all over the map. I think there's good.
It can be done right.
There's good examples of DLC. There's more recently bad examples. The worst thing. Anybody see Bethesda just put out a press release last week for Fallout 4, which I'm super excited for, by the way. Skyrim is one of the best games ever made. I love Fallout 3. They literally said we're putting out a season pass for $30. We don't know what's in it yet, but we promise it's going to be worth it. I want to stress that I think that game is going to be fantastic, and I'm probably going to buy it and play it, but that's insulting.
Yeah.
That is insulting to say give us $30. I don't know what we're going to give you.
You'll get something.
You'll get something. I don't know. It's probably going to
It'll
be
be
a
all
good
right,
value.
maybe, I guess.
Come on.
You're probably going to get Fallout on PC, right?
Actually, I'll probably get it on PS4.
Because I'm saying, don't buy DLCs on not Steam.
Oh, sure. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
That's a good tip.
Yes, on any kind of sale. Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah.
Arkham Knight again, the DLC is absolutely terrible.
Right.
Yeah, all of those.
It's often a very bad value proposition, even when it's good, at least from a time perspective.
Right. All of those Arkham Knight DLCs are a half hour long. It's play this character for
Right,
25 minutes.
And that main game is really substantive, quite
Yeah.
long for $60.
if you decide to.
What's that?
Follow.
Fallout 4 Destiny Edition, you get 10 hours of gameplay, and $30 for another 5.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Milking it. But there's also
Uh,
good DLC. I
there
think
is.
about the DLC that came out for Grand Theft Auto 4.
Yeah. Those are almost like separate
Lost in-
mini games.
Ballad of Gay Tony was killer, and
Killer.
Lost in the Damned one there.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Mario Kart 8 DLC, yeah. Right.
It's true. Yeah, there's kind
Recouping
of
costs.
But I gotta say, I know DLC is an idea of paying more for a thing that we already have had. But some DLCs are really, really good.
Yeah.
To the point Mass Effect, the Party DLC.
Exactly.
Oh, the final one, the Citadel DLC. Yeah.
And some of those like
Where the bad guys pretty hilarious. Yeah.
You're right. Some DLC is definitely like part of the design plan, but something that came out so long after that, I'm not sure that it was. I think it's just like, hey, we got a lot of these copies out with people. Could we get a couple more bucks? Like, I'm not fundamentally opposed to the idea of we've got this game out. Like, can we put more game and get a little bit more money? Like, that seems like a fair idea.
I have had an idea actually in the last month, and you know the way that various nations in the world will sign treaties with one another and agree on premises about certain things. I would love it if video game companies signed a treaty about the minimal amount of content in DLC, that they would say that if we could actually use this label of downloadable content, that we would agree that there was X amount of hours or X amount of content, and that the idea would be that if it was anything less than that, you'd have to call it something else, almost like a consumer warning. So I feel like because it's such a flexible and malleable term, I would love some consumer protection for what you label and what we buy.
So it would be like the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms.
Yes, I would
and DLC.
love my friends who work in the government to regulate the thing that we're buying. That's
and
what
then
I'm
you'd have
basically
like
saying,
people pushing for DLC in Congress, being
Right,
like,
I would-
I'm lobbying on behalf of the
I would
downloadable
love
content.
faceless bureaucrats to be the ones who are lobbying this.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's a natural evolution.
Indeed.
Half-Life
Yeah,
3. What here? I'm gonna give you this one. That's all you.
This says, what is the best Final Fantasy and why is it Tactics? I don't disagree with that. Now I will say that it's kind of a separate question because I mean, Final Fantasy Tactics is one of the greatest games of all time. It's a very different game than the main series, right? And my favorite Final Fantasies are probably a little funky. Like if you ask me what is the best Final Fantasy, like 5 comes to mind, 9 comes to mind. I love 9. I love the idea of abilities tied to the weapons. I think it's really interesting. I love 12. 12's combat was really, really interesting. Besides the obvious, like 6, of course, 4. But Tactics, man. And why can't... Look, like, some of the sequels to Tactics are pretty good. Like, that first Tactics Advanced game was pretty good. But it wasn't as good as the PlayStation version or the PSP remake, which was great. Ah, man.
I just think the only thing I hate about it, they took out all the spellcasting dialogue.
Yes.
Why? That was like awesome.
I don't know. There's
You
enough...
should.
Like,
This is an advice panel. Why did they take out the spellcasting dialogue?
Did Dark Knight really take that much data space?
I mean, I don't know, man. Those UMDs were not the most efficient storage medium. All right.
I'd like to turn this one to the audience. If everyone could yell out their favorite Street Fighter character.
Okay.
Now.
Guile!
Charlie. Dalton.
Guile. DJ.
Long.
DJ Tanner.
Cammy.
Cammy's good. I like Cammy.
I'm gonna keep listing characters from Super Street Fighter 2.
Do you have a favorite?
I like Blanca.
Oh, Blanca's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bison's kind of fun.
Bison's great. I like playing a lot of Bison.
Yeah.
Cammy, I like playing. Chun-Li.
Everyone has a
Ryu,
favorite.
of course.
And we're all just yelling out Street Fighter characters. What is your favorite MAGFest moment? If you guys have any final questions, we're getting
Moment.
close to the end of the road.
Indeed.
Please fill out your cards and get them up here, and we'll whip through them before the end. Closing remarks. Yeah, if you have closing remarks, things that you would like to be said to the room that we read out loud for you by proxy, yeah, that can happen. Thank you. Your favorite MAGFest moment?
I don't know.
Mine would be, and this is a cop-out, the kind of general interactions that happen outside of all the scheduled events.
Right. Yes.
I've had some beautiful moments meeting people in hallways and hotel rooms in the dead of night. That sounds horrible. But the people who come to this tend to be really great. And those are blank cards. I was like, we don't have time to answer 30 questions.
I'm doing a Street Fighter 2 background character.
Oh, that's super nice.
That's very good. I would say, yeah, I think that like the wonderful thing about MAGFest is you can kind of make this festival like your own, right? It's kind of whatever you want it to be. So like MAGFest 3, like there were very few people there. I spent like the entire Saturday playing Fable on Xbox with somebody I never met. Just like sitting there like for like 6 hours. I'm
That's
like,
your
let's
choice.
just hang out like on an Xbox. This is sitting here. That'd be pretty awesome. And then yeah, even like more recent MAGFests, like hanging out on the balcony with people you do not know, just shooting the shit, dispensing life advice, getting life advice.
There's a reason we ended up here.
Outside an elevator.
There you go.
Oh, wow. That's pretty impressive.
Anything in the elevator.
Should
Street Pass panel. That was
should
pretty
game
good.
mods be regulated like DLC?
No.
No, I don't
That's a
think so.
very different thing. Especially like assuming that they're free, right? I think there should be an opportunity for like really good mods to, charge for them and like profit off of them.
Yeah.
But I think there should still be the tool set and the ability to download like whatever the hell people want to make. Like,
Agreed.
I think I think it's awesome when devs put out tools to just like take the engines that they've done and say, you guys are cool, thanks for buying our game, now go make nonsense.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I think the Steam backlash of recent times is kind of improving concept of that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
If you would.
No, don't do this. This is how can I convince Artist Alley artists to draw Tifa Ray hentai?
You pay them as much money as they want.
That's true. I mean, money. I would say money. Like right.
You
like,
pay them
if
as
you-
much money as they want.
Yeah, I mean, if you give them money, I assume there's a number that they would say, sure, whatever.
Yep. I think you just pay them.
So money, just give them money.
Yep. Give them money. We only got a couple questions left here. These are both like pretty general high concept
That's
questions. The hardest game you've ever played?
Dark Souls.
Dark Souls is pretty.
Flappy Bird.
What's harder, Dark Souls or Flappy Bird?
Gosh, I don't know, man. Oh, that is hard. That's
hard.
true. I think I got up to like 4-1, 4-2, and I can't go. I never played Armored Core.
No, neither have I.
For PlayStation 1, is that Armored Core? I
think
have
I
a
play
question
Armored-
for the panel.
Okay.
If generally, if you have any closing remarks you'd like to make to summarize your advice that you've made this time, or any kind of closing sentiments you'd like to give about, advice for the modern gamer writ large,
Okay.
if you will. Yeah.
We're at the end of the road.
Are we at the end of
I
the
think
road?
we're at the
Boys
end
to
of
Men
the-
reference that we're making right
We
now.
did this
We're
one. The
very
only
close.
question we haven't
Okay.
answered was thoughts on video game remakes. I think they're great.
I think, yeah, I like them.
It's controversial. I think they're great for two reasons. One, games that you did not get around to playing, to have them come out on a console that you currently have, and just to have that available to you, like that's fantastic. And as we get more into concepts
Yeah.
of preserving games, things like the Mega Man collection that was kind of controversial.
I love that.
It's
I'm
like-
excited to play
it's
that.
great that exists.
I will say that's a little different than the very recent trend of the like HD remasters that sometimes like aren't HDs. I have no problem with them. I wish they were a little bit more aggressively priced.
Yeah.
Something like The Last of Us, which is an incredible game, coming out on PS4 and asking $60 for that. It's like, well, hold on now. Like
the discounts
that's not even
haven't
an
there
HD remake,
since.
right?
You
Like
can,
that's
you can find that for like 20.
now you can. And it's
Yeah.
gotten much cheaper. But I would like to see that be a little bit more aggressive.
Sure.
But in terms of like full on remakes, like I really love that stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to ask that question.
Yeah.
What I really meant from that was like, is it fair to like price like a Master Chief collection or Gears of War collection at $50 on the already thing?
It's tough.
So the Master Chief Collection, I think yes, and the reason I say yes is that is a lot of content in that game. Like besides the fact that it was hella broken for a while, that's 4 full single player games and this incredible suite of multiplayer maps. Like I look at that independently, even knowing that it's recycled, and of course there's new stuff, right? Like the whole Halo 2 graphical remake. I look at that and say, boy, this is 4 high quality games. I don't have a problem with that. The Gears of War 1 remaster, which I've heard very good things about, that's a little tougher, right? That is an older game in the series. It's just the one game. Again, I think that's cool. Super cool that exists, especially for like fans of the franchise who get to play on modern consoles. That multiplayer that they love for a while. To charge full price for it does definitely seems a little high. It was $40. Yeah, even that, I guess 40. It's still a little like I feel like 30 would be the perfect price.
Well, and there's
right?
nice ways to do it. Like Dishonored just did it, where if you own the previous version and had that in your catalog, you got it at a deep discount.
That's
like,
nice.
You got it for $20.
Yeah.
And it's like that's kind of a nice nod.
Right.
And things like that, I think it's a game to game thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well,
that was just a victim of time.
That wasn't a really a resurrection, right? Like that game had been kind of worked on off and on for years and years.
10 years.
Obviously, that game is hot garbage, and I think that's poor, and you shouldn't play it.
right. No.
But if somebody was like, "We're gonna make a new Duke Nukem game, like we're gonna start right now," I'm not opposed to that. Like, why not? Like, let's see what you do, knowing like, kind of what worked with Duke Nukem
Would you
3D,
guys
what
like
didn't.
to invest in my new Ice Climber game that I'm working on
Yes,
right now?
yes,
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 I
I would. Ice Climber's a great game.
I didn't know you made Ice Climber games.
Please see my GoFundMe campaign for a new
Well, that's
Ice
the thing, you
Climber
see
Can I
a lot
invest
of
in your
these
new
IP
Excite Bike game? Like, what
Yes.
else are we? Okay, yes.
These aren't real. Like you see a lot of these things.
I'm
go
joking.
through-
It's after midnight.
through crowdfunding.
Is there romance in your ice cream?
I think we're going to write a subplot, and we're going to get Allison Brie and Joel McHale to do the voices.
Okay, so the ice, that's fucking great. So the Ice
should
Climbers,
be good.
Ice Climbers visual novel
And we're gonna
coming
have,
2016 for the 3DS.
We're going to have Stephen Colbert write the dialogue for it. It's going to be nice. Yeah.
This sounds outstanding.
We've got some tricks up our sleeves yet with Ice Climber. Yeah.
Looks like we have about 2 minutes left in our panel.
So questions or closing sentiments? Closing sentiments.
Closing sentiments. Can we roll back to the PowerPoint and see if we
Let's
have?
look at. Do we actually cover cooking
Did
and
we
eating?
cover any of
And
these?
I think we
don't-
covered-
I don't think we did. I mean, we
covered a
talked
lot of
about
these.
anything.
social. We didn't cover like how to social party host.
No.
Which we could actually or dating.
Set up Rock Band. I mean, that's a good idea.
Set up no, there's a ton. If you're looking to get people like socially into games, there's
You get
so
5 other
many
people and
great
you run
things.
multiclass.
Like we're talking about Avalon, Werewolf. There's so many games that you can get people through the guise of board and card games into wanting to be in front of the television.
Indeed.
Like, I could go on about like couch co-op and nonsense like that. Let's dating, parenting, money, finances. We talked about money, finance, work life, gaming, and the haters. Do what you like. I think the thing with the remakes is the point is if there's more games, period, no matter what they are, that's kind of better for
I
everyone.
even feel hesitant like talking about like the value of it. Like if you feel like, man, Gears of War is super rad, but 40 maybe that's a little too pricey. We'll just wait. Just wait till it's a price that you're cool with and then get it because games go on sale.
It exists for someone who hasn't had it before, and
Like
price is
I
different
never
to
feel
everyone.
begrudging of someone who's like, that is the greatest game of all time. I would pay you $200 for that game. I'm like, word up, like rock and roll, man. Go for it.
It's a dick move when publishers spread exclusive content across retailers in order to exploit diehard fans.
That's terrible.
Complete dick move, but re-releasing something and kind of having a decreasing price structure.
One problem I have with the re-releases of the HD Masters is that they develop this game, and before the game's out, they're like, hey, buy our season pass. We've got like 5 DLCs planned.
Right.
And then within a year, you get HD Definitive Collection, all DLC included.
It's true.
Yep.
Same price.
It's true. It's true. But to someone else, and that's how it's going to work. If you want the new car with the
And that's
year
tricky
on it,
too, right?
you're
Because
gonna pay more for it.
you might be like, man, you spent way more money than I did for the same content, and that person's probably like, well, I played it for 12 months before you did.
Yeah.
So it just depends on like what was more valuable, the money versus the early access.
If you were looking
and
at, like,
that's only a personal question.
If you hadn't
right?
been gaming and you like looked into buying an Xbox 360 and a PlayStation 3, you would have an absurd amount of content at a very low price point, and no one who's played those games in the past should resent you for the act of having paid a lot more money for them once upon a
Indeed.
time. Ooh,
that's a
God,
good-
we only have like 60 seconds.
Yeah, whatever. We can stay for a little bit. I don't think anybody's after us.
Start with the games that are easy to explain. You can explain them in less than 5 minutes, and kind of like gateway games, and then really
very
double down
very
on them.
highly social, simply mechanical games. Like, don't worry. If your end goal is to play like D&D or something, or like
When you
House on the
D&D.
Haunted Hill, or like something, or like a little bit more complex game. Like start with again the Resistance, or like I love One Night Ultimate Werewolf or Coup or something that's just like very simple. Like it still has some interesting mechanics, and you've got to think on your feet and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and if you can get people into that game, you're like, okay, let's go into something a little bit more mechanically complex, a little bit longer. So kind of wade in with like high quality but mechanically simple games first. would be
And
my
make it
suggestion.
an event. It's board game night is a big thing.
Yes.
Like saying we're gonna do this, and this is the game, and everyone's gonna come play it, and kind of building around it.
I think
Right.
that
Making an
you
event
should
of
also
it.
not underestimate the power of ordering a pizza to accompany a game. So like make
Free
it an
pizza
event,
and beer,
it's a
that's
meal.
good. Yep.
Yeah,
If you're looking to get people into a more complicated game, like Dungeons and Dragons,
Yeah.
the way we do Dungeons and Dragons, a lot of preparation work on the part of the DM, and then you kind of like
roll
make
with
sure
it.
that like people are planning out ahead of time, and you send enough information where people can deep dive into it if they want, and then people commit to it through and through. And you got to be willing to kind of be like, oh, we're all new at this. Here are the rules. Here are that. Instead of being like, you don't know this, get out of here. Like, it's all about kind of being patient.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
game part, yeah, it's for fun. You're here for fun first.
Some
You're here to
people
play the game.
don't.
Indeed. That was super
Yep.
fun, yeah.
This is.
So End of the Road is a fitting song for the moment that we're in right now.
Yep. I think that's it.
Thank you all for coming out.
hit
Thank you very
1
much for
o'clock.
the questions.
We made it through. We did it.
If we could just sit in silence till this ends.
And you can fade it.
Thank you all for coming. Have a great Magfest.
Thanks. That was really fun. I hope you guys had fun too.